Greetings, podcast listeners, and welcome to my Shot of Life podcast with your co-host Steven and Victor. Said by Victor.
Yes.
Victor's saying this right now.
That's so you remember that it's me who says it.
On this week's episode, we will be discussing tropes, movie tropes, TV tropes, commercial tropes, something that happens so frequently it's become a little bit redundant in our day-to-day entertainment consumption. We'll be sipping on Woodford Reserve Masters Collection Brandy Cask Finish.
There you go. Another long one for you today.
Yeah, I've been just having to breathe a real deep breath before reading these. This is 750 milliliters, 45.2% alcohol volume. And this is the first time I've ever seen something labeled as the proof with a decimal place. 90.4 proof.
They really just want you to know. It's special.
Man, so this must be pretty accurate. Today's toilet talk, in connection with our movie tropes of the day, we'll be discussing poop and fart joke humor in movies and, TV shows and all entertainment. So we think that was a pretty good segue, or at least it'll fit in with our conversation today. And as we wrap up things, we will discuss our rating of the bourbon today. That is bourbon, right? Brandy Cask Finish bourbon, because it's out of Kentucky. Guys, Kentucky bourbon, Tennessee whiskey.
Nailed
FYI.
It. Nailed it.
All right. Tap them up. Here we go. I'll reserve my analysis, but it's not looking too good.
Would you Woodford reserve it?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll have to.
That's what I thought.
So, tropes.
Tropes.
I think
you
we can start off.
Them? You've seen them?
You've seen them. It happens all the time. It's in all the things and stuff that we watch. The easiest thing to describe what this is without giving a direct, definition of it is, imagine watching a commercial, right? You sit down in front of your TV watching ESPN, watching whatever you're watching. Commercial pops up for Viagra.
Boom.
Boom.
What do you picture?
You picture someone being really happy.
Really happy.
White.
MILF. Action.
Yeah, and then you see a smile on the woman's face, and she's in bedroom garb, and the guy's going around the whole day really happy that he can satisfy himself and his woman, I guess. So that, I feel like, is the number one example of what a trope is. You see an ad for a commercial, more specifically a drug commercial, and it's always showing how happy someone is after taking that drug, right? So it's this repetitive or overused concept to define or to show someone something, at least get the point across. Vic, what other commercials would you say, or commercial tropes have you seen just from your day-to-day watching TV?
I feel like a lot of the fast food chains have similarly designed commercials. They're going after
their demographic,
their
select demographic.
Sure are. Definitely trying to get in there and infiltrate the mind, discussing value. They've all got these special menus that they're trying to promote, so they're trying to get people in the door. Additionally, they're looking, a lot of them come from either a humor perspective or a passion perspective, so they're saying, be your best. It's cheap. It's not as unhealthy as everyone says it is. Bring your kids. It's the one-stop, cheap family stop kind of deal. And then the other one, you got your Taco Bell of the world out there who's hitting you with the comedy stuff all the time with their commercials.
And just the most absurd, list of items that you can get at the restaurant. Who knew that you would get a waffle egg taco at Taco Bell in 2018? Who knew? Who knew Taco Bell would be alive or
Did not
still be
see
around?
that coming.
Unless you were watching Blade Runner. Then I think
20,
it Blade Runner
2049.
or no Total Recall. I think it was like Burger King and Taco Bell were the only two restaurants. They were like taking over, like the conglomerate.
How Burger King? Burger King's the
I think it's Burger King. Maybe it's KFC. No, it can't be KFC. That'd be weird. Well, it is Taco Bell and whatever the other one is. Maybe it's it's Pizza Hut. That's the other one. Okay, pizza and tacos. I mean, why not, right?
Why not?
Let's see here. So, drug ones are obvious. They're always dealing with either depression or some sort of issue, and the person happens to be excited or happy after they've taken it, right? Another one that I've seen, and you mentioned some of the fast food chains, Hardee's.
Just over the top.
Over the top, but they're always, it's like zoomed in with the burger. It's all sloppy, and it just slaps down. And you know, you
and
can
the
tell,
ingredients bounce up.
and they bounce. Yeah, like they're, well, there's like some sort of like trampoline that they're throwing it on top of. And I guess, I don't even know if it's a trope, but it's more of like a, and that's who they're focused on, their demographic. You can tell by watching the commercial who they're catering towards. I mean, you got these huge burgers. It's obviously towards men.
And which fast food chain it is.
Right.
Hardee's was taking that, not only the sloppy food and the big, huge burgers, but they were getting the women in there.
Yeah, and they would have like the women in like short shorts and bikinis and
Daisy Dukes,
low top shirts and stuff. And so obviously it was catered towards guys. To that American man, the blue collar guy.
I mean, at some points they were like promoting the all-American burger, and it was
yeah, that makes sense, right? That's who they're going for. Is just like the guy who works outside with his hands all day. So there's that. I guess one of the other ones that I was specifically looking at was beer commercials. You know, those tend to be on the humor side, right? At least Bud Light does. But then you always get hit with the Clydesdale.
Yeah, that's Budweiser. More refined.
That's right.
Steven. More refined.
Yeah. If you're looking for those extra calories.
You've got your light beers. They're going to advertise specifically low cal, low carb. You know, Corona always had the ones on the beach. You had Mick Ultra. Everybody's running all the time and exercising. You've got your other light beers that are kind of like, you know, cookouts and summer parties, light and refreshing, blah, blah, blah. And then there's Coors, which is all they talk about are the Rockies.
And pickup trucks, probably.
Probably.
They show some guy, like, it's almost like when you watch the Ford commercials, right? And I hadn't even planned on talking about this, but now that I'm thinking about it, that's a great example. Is like watching the Ford or the Chevrolet commercials, and it's just a huge pickup truck climbing up rocks. It's just like they do in the Jeep commercials too, and they're showing it off, or they're showing like some guy throwing stuff in the back of the trunk, and the bed's just shaking, and then he's like, "I drive my pickup truck because it gets me by," and so he's just driving down, and then he's like climbing up a mountain of rocks for who God knows where his house is located on the top of these rocks. But it's funny, like, to show you what no ordinary person is making that drive every day. You're just going down the interstate, you're going down the highway, whatever you're doing.
But Steve, if you need to use your truck for that,
just in case I need to, it'd be great to know that it can go up rocks.
Yeah, definitely.
And another one that bothers me a little bit are the made-for-TV commercials.
What does that involve?
Not made-for-TV commercials, but the made-for-TV products they sell. So think of the Slap Shop or the Slap Chop or whatever it was.
Like infomercials.
Infomercials, yeah. And then they would have the installment plan. You can pay this for 3 payments of $29.95. Why don't you just say it's $90, you know? We all get it, you know. No one's paying $30 a month for 3 months to get a Snuggie or a box of Snuggies.
Never know. Could be worth it.
What
never
kind
know.
of
Snuggie?
My mom one time got me this box. She put my Christmas gift in it, and on the outside of the box it said Giant Snuggie, and it had pictures of like what you could put the Snuggie around, and it was a picture of the Snuggie over like 5 people on a couch.
Jeez.
Then the same Snuggie over a car, and then the same Snuggie that would go over the entire house. And it was obviously like a joke box, and she put the real gift inside of it. But they sell these fake boxes to trick you into, you know, thinking that's what it is. Actually, I think she got that from my brother. The one she got me was it was a shower head coffee maker, and I looked at her and I was like, "Oh no, dude."
Hey, she tried, right?
Yeah, I was a little bit worried.
She's just a joker.
She got me. So transitioning away from commercials and into movies.
Movies. That's when cows go to the movies.
What trope do you see in a movie frequently that you would just love to get rid of, or you just get so annoyed when you see it?
The entire category of romantic comedies. Get out of here.
How like
nobody?
It's an awkward meet.
Nobody wants you here. You get out.
It's like this.
Get out.
Meet cute.
Why do you think you're never at the Oscars? Get out.
They're the Razzies though.
Yeah, where they belong because they're so troped.
Do we know what? Dude, one of my favorite movies is like probably a Razzie nomination, and it's a rom-com.
Go on.
It's got Ashton Kutcher in it. Actually, he's in 2 rom-com movies that I like. That's not. No, not even close. The one What Happens in Vegas. That movie's pretty good.
Who's the girl in that?
Not Drew Barrymore.
It's not. It's the
blonde hair.
Yep. Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. Yes,
yeah.
That's it. So it was him and Cameron Diaz, and then the other movie is Just Married with Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy. Oh, when she was alive. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sad day.
She's
R.I.P.
Now, whenever she was dead.
R.I.P.
That would have
Brittany
been
Murphy.
really.
Sin City, baby.
Yeah. So one of my favorite movies is that, but that is what it is. Is like they have this meet cute, whatever you want to call that, and then they fall in love immediately, and they're like, oh my god, it's gonna be amazing, and then it just falls down the deep end. They want to break up, they want to get divorced. I mean, this happens in Definitely Maybe, one of my favorite movies too. I like a lot, man. Thinking about it, I have like 4 rom-com movies that I kind of like, but I think they're more based around comedy than they are romance.
Mm-hmm.
Like Definitely Maybe is definitely a rom-com, but
Wedding Crashers. That's a comedy. That's
yeah.
Up comedy.
Yeah, but it has the same underlying arc where he falls back in love with a girl.
Yeah.
All right, so to me it's a redemption story, which everyone loves a good redemption story.
Maybe that's what they're playing to everybody's
Invincible,
feelings.
Invincible, everyone loved that movie, and what's the movie where the guy
everybody loves a comeback,
they picked the kid up off the street and he like ran a 40 pretty fast or something. Is that Invincible?
Sandlot.
No, the movie with Sandra Bullock.
Miss Congeniality.
The football movie.
Blindside.
Yeah. Is that it?
He definitely does not run a 40, a fast 40.
Wait, he's like a lineman,
He's a
right?
blindside tackle, I believe.
Oh.
Michael
Is he blind?
No. Gosh, you're the worst. Speaking of, you're the worst.
You're the worst.
Pretty decent movie.
Great show. Yeah. No, we'll get there. I forgot what we were getting at.
I don't think we've actually mentioned the tropes other than
the redemption
feel-good
story.
redemption.
The redemption story is the trope to me. I feel like the movies are made, or that is a part of a movie to get you to like a character. But it happens so frequently where everything's good or you're on that guy's side, and then it turns out the person is a piece of crap. And then the next thing you know, he's working his way back up in the good graces. They connect, they fall in love, the movie ends, you're like, oh, they're meant to be, and that's it. I think there's been a movie that came out where the redemption happened and they got together, and then you're like, oh, it's going to be great, and then they showed the movie after that, and it didn't turn out great.
What's the one? There was a movie that I saw recently on vacation, so not recently, but less than a year ago. I saw it for the first time. Can't remember who's in it, but it's about this woman who is in love with this guy who's getting married to someone who getting married to Cameron Diaz, whoever that is. My best friend's
Jason
wedding
Segel?
Or something like that.
Well, what was happening there? He was getting married to Cameron Diaz?
Yeah, to Cameron Diaz's character, and then you thought the whole movie he was gonna break it off with Cameron Diaz's character and get together with the girl, the main character, and then he never did. And I was so satisfied with the way the movie ended because it did not have a happy ending. It bucked to the trope of the rom-com where the main 2 characters get together, but that was not the case.
Oh, dude. What's the movie with Jason Segel in it where he's in love with Kristen Bell? Yeah, that's a great movie.
This is a different movie.
This is a different movie, yeah. But
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and then you're thinking, oh, he's gonna get back together with her, and he doesn't. But then it still is like tropey whenever he has a happy ending with the girl.
Because there's also that mini falling out because he gets with Mila's character.
Yeah.
And then like you think, oh no, they're not gonna get together because other things happened. She thought he was still in love with Kristen Bell's character, but then they do ultimately get together. So it's not as tropey, but it's a little there.
Yeah. And it might be impossible to really deviate and not have anything tropey in a movie. It would be very difficult to have a writing or to write a movie where you're doing something completely different that has never been done before, at least in the whole movie.
Just a quick note. The movie I was thinking of was indeed My Best Friend's Wedding. Great rom-com that ends, well, I already said it, so no spoiler alert needed, but it ends without Julia Roberts, the main character, getting with the guy.
Huh. Never heard of that.
PG-13.
You can let your kids watch it.
1997.
We suggest. What's another one?
Another trope?
For movies, at least for movies.
Movies? Horror films, man, your favorite.
Yeah, I have a lot for horror films. Not a lot. I have a good amount.
Well, you kick it off.
For me, worst thing in a movie is whenever they creep up and it's a dark room and there's someone with their back turned. No matter what, if they're in a chair, if they're just like looking out a window, or if it's a dark room and they're just like Indian style looking at the wall, someone always has the balls to walk up there and just like tap them on the shoulder.
Tap them on the shoulder.
And then, do the 180, and then it's like
and it's just like
messed up face.
Their head turns around completely, like
180,
or just
something.
Their head.
That, or there's like some ugly face or like some monster-looking thing or something. It never ceases to amaze me every time.
Just walk out of the room, like don't even go in.
Yeah, it's like that's what it should be. You should walk by the room, see it, and be like, nope, and then just leave. At least that's what in my parody movie would be. Nope. Bye.
Let's write it.
I'm going to make a movie. It's going to take about 2 minutes. It's going to have a guy walking into an abandoned house, which is another trope of mine, looking in a room where he sees something, creature, and then says nope, and then leaves, and then it says the end.
And then the credits roll.
It's like this guy didn't want the movie to happen.
Budget $5. Yeah, I mean, playing on that though, one of my big ones is the mirror scene. So you got your character who's like washing their face in the sink, and they bend down to like finish washing their face, and then you see, someone's face in the mirror flash up, a monster's face or whatever, and then the people are finished,
and they disappear.
Yeah, washing their eyes, and they're looking in the mirror like toweling off, and there's nothing in there,
or it is there.
Yeah, or they open they open the medicine cabinet, which is a mirror. They take something out, and when they close the mirror,
that's a good one.
There's the face.
All the time about the mirror. Oh, let me get my pills. First of all, I don't know anybody who has a mirror like that. I don't know anybody who has a mirror that opens it up and then you have pills.
My parents' house.
Old people. I don't have one. I know you don't have one, but like and when they open it up, so many pills. It's like it's like 6 to 8 inches.
Who's the prop master here?
Deep.
Just like,
and they're putting like layers of like, all right, here's 6 rows, and we have pills on all of them, pills. And
like I think put some soap in there. You could.
How many toothbrushes do they have in there?
Yeah, none. It's all just bottles of pills.
They're just doing drugs. That's probably why they're seeing ghosts in the first place, or demons, or serial killers.
Whatever.
They attract that stuff.
So speaking of serial killers, I don't know if you were gonna touch on this one, but I don't have too many on the horror scene because I'm not a big horror guy. But my other big one, so the mirror was number 1 for me. Number 2 is the killer. So the killer walks everywhere, and the people whose lives are in danger, they run everywhere. How do they get caught? They're running, killer's walking.
Oh yeah.
Just run fast.
Well, you know what they say, man.
In a straight line, don't fall over, and like he can't catch you physically. He cannot catch you if he's just walking.
Slow and steady, man.
I guess that's it.
All the time. They exhaust themselves out. He's clearly, sipping on Gatorade or something.
Performance enhancer.
Well, like every time they go off screen, he's
so
like
he
dropping.
raids the mirrored medicine cabinet for all those pills, amphetamines most likely.
Yep, he's hyped up.
Yeah, so he's hyped up on those.
Got some speed. That is an issue. They suddenly catch up with them, or they know where they're at, where they're hiding. I guess another one is, and it doesn't bother me so much, but if you have sex in a scary movie, it used to be you would
die.
You would be subject to die. Like you were more likely going to die if you were a virgin in the movie, or you were a virgin prior to the movie started, and then you didn't have sex. Then you were innocent in a way, and so you'd be spared. I don't know if that probably traces all the way back to religious aspects. I'm sure that whoever wrote some of the earlier horror movies kind of had that in mind.
What's the movie that you liked? It Follows? Is that what?
Oh, yeah.
So that takes, horror movie sex and kind of flips it on its head, right?
Yeah, where they you have to have sex to push the monster off onto someone else. And so, well, I guess in the first place, if you wouldn't have had sex, then it would have never even came for you, right?
True.
Once you have sex, you have to go out there and find someone else to do it. And that was a really good movie, and they kind of switched that genre up a little bit and that concept. For me, another one would be an abandoned house, where you just someone sees, oh, we should go in that house, or let's go in that house and let's split up. No, dude, we're not splitting up.
This isn't Scooby-Doo, bro.
And have you ever seen Scooby-Doo? Because it never works out. Well, It does work out at the end, but it doesn't work out in the middle of it, because Scooby and Shaggy always find the creature and get scared.
That's it.
And so warning.
Velma loses her glasses. Daphne
Who knows what
falls
Daphne
somewhere.
and Fred are doing?
Who knows?
I don't think that we even see. They're always like off screen whenever all the action happens.
I think you know what they're
or
doing.
that the real action's happening off screen.
Shame. It's a children's show, Steven. Come on. You can't imply those things.
Any other movie stuff that you thought?
Horror movie stuff?
No, just movies in general.
Some comedy stuff I think we've discussed.
What per se?
I think just, there are certain things that are funny, and that's there's just different types of humor that are used over and over and over and over
Well,
again.
there's always a guy who is the funniest guy in the room, and he's always getting laid. They have
what? Really?
Yeah, you don't think so?
Funny guy? I don't know.
Well, he's like the life of the party character. That they have these archetypes in movies where you have one guy who's the reasonable guy. Let's use The Hangover for an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you have, damn, I'm gonna have a hard time coming up with
All
names.
their names.
You have the really weird guy, Zach Galifianakis.
Yep.
You have Bradley Cooper, who is like the sexy but married man,
Mm-hmm.
but he still is like pulling out the sex appeal, and he's the really cool guy of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Doug.
Yeah.
He's the guy who had his tooth pulled out.
Yep.
He's the very nerdy but reasonable person who's like keeping everyone together and trying to be. He's not the leader, but he's keeping everyone sane.
be
I
a
guess.
rational
rational
human
person. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. I guess that's it for that movie. But overall, there's like these different archetypes in a movie to keep maybe the structure intact. But for me, it's like, come out with a movie where 5 people have the same, archetype. They're all like douchey, or they're all really rational, but then you have the one irrational guy. I mean, even in It's Always Sunny, it's like you got Charlie's the wild card, and then Max the guy.
Are there any rational people there?
No, they're not. None of them
Dennis
are rational.
occasionally.
Dennis is like the sexual predator. I would love to talk about It's Always Sunny in the future. I have a lot to say about that show, but they have their own, craziness too, except for the rational part.
So I guess like the types of humor that I'm alluding to here are, there's the physical humor. So you've got your Three Stooges,
Oh yeah.
what's with Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone.
Home Alone.
So that's all physical humor, people slapping each other, getting hit in the face with paint cans,
Getting hurt, yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's funny to a point, but you've got to understand that they're like repeated. The Home Alone movies are the same movie. How many are there? 4?
Yeah.
The third one had like not Macaulay Culkin in it. And then the fourth one, I don't even know.
Directed DVD.
Probably, but it's the same movie over and over again. And then there's the crassness of humor. You've got like people who are just so ridiculous and vulgar and just kind of go with that. And then,
Oh, you mean like where they just drop the F-bomb?
Yeah,
Most of the movie.
like what's that female?
Oh, Amy Schumer?
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, where she talks about her vagina a lot.
Yeah, it's just like it's so overused, and like Louis C.K. was the same way, where he would make, which later came out to be, it wasn't a joke. He was actually telling the truth about his like. He would always make masturbation jokes, and it was like, dude,
jokes.
Dial it back, like
Yeah.
And then ultimately that whole story came out, and it was
He's
probably
like, well, I've been telling you for all these years.
yeah,
Did you
probably
not
more
believe me?
shocking. And then like the childish, immature humor that goes on in different
Kind of like
shows.
Adam Sandler a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, like Adam Sandler. He's
Any
just
of the movies
worst.
that went directly to Netflix for Adam Sandler,
Dude
I don't
made
think
bank.
I couldn't even sit down and watch any of them. They're just so bad.
It's just maddening. I guess these things, like with the comedy ones, aren't necessarily super tropey, but it's just annoying to me that these things continue to make money. And like Adam Sandler signed that Netflix deal to make how many movies? How many crappy movies?
3 or 4,
I should say.
I think.
Ridiculous. And that dude has more money than I'll ever see in my life.
Cleaning it up. People, and I think when it came out, that Ridiculous 6 movie that he had was one of the most watched movies on Netflix at the time when it came out or whenever. This is, 3 years ago? But it was still one of the most watched movies on Netflix. And it's just thinking, like, who's watching these movies?
Gross.
If you're watching these movies, please email us and let us know why, because I want to know.
It can't be the acting and it can't be the comedy. So what else is
Let's
there?
stop giving Adam Sandler our money, like, just completely.
Unacceptable.
And
What's next on the docket, man?
music.
Music.
I think we have a lot about music.
Oh boy.
And one of my favorites to talk about is going to be country music.
I'm going to talk like this the whole
Country
time.
girl in a country world.
Madonna.
My bare feet, blue jeans, sweet tea, trunk trees. Couldn't think of another word that rhymed.
Bojangles.
Dude, I'd love to hear Bojangles get a reference in a song. There's a guy, Scotty McCreery, big country music singer, is from... I think he's from Garner. He went to NC State. So shout out to Scotty McCreery. Let's get
Come on the show, man.
Let's get some Bojangles in the song.
We'd be more than happy to have you on to talk all things NC State, North Carolina, and country.
Yeah, so for me, it's... so with country music, it's really the pop country music, because I'll go back and listen to some of the old stuff. And by old, I mean like in the 80s and the 90s. Like, I don't go too far back. I listen to some George Jones or George Strait, but I don't listen to that era of music. I listen to more of, if anyone's listening familiar to Clint Black. Vic, I don't know if you even know who that is.
I hate country music,
But
so I know none of this.
Garth Brooks, I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yes.
It's around the same time, early 90s. And I wouldn't say that music was more about very depressing, drinking whiskey, being sad, like probably shooting my gun off in the distance with my dog by my side music. And then music now is, I got my pickup truck, cooler full of beer,
blue jeans on,
driving down the dirt road, my girl short shorts, cut off jeans, and tube top.
Boom. There you go.
Boom. I mean, that is it. Dixie Cup. Dude, Luke Bryan with the Dixie Cup. He said that in like 7 songs.
I can make a drink. Whatever that song, I hear that all the time.
Something is it Florida Georgia line?
I have no idea. Oh gosh, don't even get me started. Terrible music.
And I don't understand. I don't know if these people have ghostwriters. Some of them do, right?
I don't know.
You would think that as simple as the lyrics are, and don't get me wrong, I love listening to Luke Bryan. I like Kenny Chesney, but man, some of the lyrics are just so derivative.
I may, have my high school diploma revoked for this, but back in the day in high school, when you'd write a paper, right, you weren't allowed to plagiarize, but you would like copy and paste stuff from the internet and then change around the words, right? Mm. Or use a thesaurus to look up different words to replace some. Okay? That's what they do with country music. They copy and paste a song, they change around some words, and that's it. It's not the content that changes, it's the order at which they are sung, sang.
And what is crazy is that they use like 5 chords. So like whoever, G, A, C, D.
Gacked.
And maybe an F. If you do an F, that's an advanced country music song. Now, you have like people in the background who are just going away at it on guitar, they're hammering away, but the rhythm of the song is just like G, C, A, D, and it's the whole thing. So you could add that in the Tropes if you wanted to.
Yeah.
All they did was change the combination of those 4 letters, 4 notes, 4 letters.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, country music.
Troped. Bad.
Got troped. What's your other one?
Other genre?
Yeah, what's another genre that you want to hit up?
Riggedy rap.
Rap music. We talking about money. We talking about how we got money. We talking about how we have a lot of money. How we spend our money.
Drugs.
How we don't care how much something costs.
Probably getting shot in the streets where you grew up with 12 different lady friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It doesn't encourage a really healthy lifestyle.
It does not. I do not approve, but I love rap, man. I could listen to it all day. That's the big difference between country and rap. I realize how troped it is. I do enjoy a good rap song.
Well, maybe that's why. I feel the exact same way with country music, where it's just what they're going to talk about, and I kind of like, yeah, I want you to talk about that. So that's fine with me as long as it doesn't sound stupid, which it still does. It does not sound too stupid. But rap music, I feel like it's all about the money, though. Yeah. It's all about making that money.
And at least from my vantage point here, we're talking about tropiness with the genres of music. Country, for me at least, has 0 redeeming qualities. Rap, there are certain songs and certain artists who buck the trend. They're not singing or rapping about the classic tropes that other people
that's
are.
That's gonna happen. There's thousands of rappers and hours of content each person puts out. Bound to find some diamonds out there.
To bring up a specific example,
Lil Dicky.
We both really enjoy Logic, and especially like his earlier works. He just came out with a new album. Shout out Logic. New album. It's a little more trappy, I would say.
Yeah, it's even more trappy than the first Bobby Tarantino album.
Yeah, so Bobby Tarantino, the original album, solid. Then he had the concept album, The Incredible True Story of the Man Who Saved the World, something like that. Mm-hmm. Which he said in an interview, they shortened it to The Incredible True Story, which abbreviated is TITS, or tits.
Oh, so, nice. He would do that.
Nice. Classic Logic. But he came out with Bobby Tarantino 2 recently. Pretty solid album. I liked like 3 songs on it because it was a little, bucking his own trend. He was trying to
change it up a little bit.
Good for him, and I can absolutely respect that. I think I used that, exact phrase on Friday when the album dropped. But one thing that you will hear more than once on every single one of his albums is how he raps about being half black, half white.
He does.
And he raps about how he's discriminated against by both sides and how he always overcomes the odds, to drop hits, get money. And it's like, dude, I've heard this in 3 or 4 songs per album. 3 or 4 songs in a row per album for the last, 8 years, however long you've been putting out music.
I don't know if that's pandering or if that's...
you're allowed to be really proud about it. That's cool.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just getting to the point where it's a little bit over the top with it. Okay, we get it. Well, even all right. So what bothered me is that he even goes into one of his songs. He talks about his story and about his mom, but he's talking from the third person, and he's acting like it's not him. But then he accidentally, in air quotes, drops that the story's about me or him or that kid. I don't know. It felt a little bit too much in your face about it. You know, what I
gets
mean?
less and less genuine,
Exactly.
or like you know, you're less inclined to
The fact
feel
that you
it
have
in
to,
your heart. You know,
when you're pushing it like all like you keep pushing it out there. Like if you do it once and like it's from the heart, I got it. Like I totally respect that. When you keep doing it, not so much. And then he also talks about, and this is another thing with rappers, is their status. Oh, these been sleeping on me. These mother been sleeping on me. I'm so like I could tear you up. I could roast you. Like, you know what I mean? That's not that's not a rap lyric at all. But they talk about
you're pretty good.
how good they are in comparison to everybody else, or like how they're the greatest rapper ever.
And how many? I guess another thing that I don't understand is like they're not fiscally responsible with their money. You know, like
Well, Logic did talk about.
I'm speaking in the rap song
Sure.
specifically. They're talking about all these expensive cars and jewelry that they have, and I'm sitting here like, invest, man. You should be rapping about Bitcoin or like stocks or I don't know, just like 401k, or set up a Roth IRA or something. You know, rap about that. Don't rap about chains and cars and rims because who cares? You get in a car accident, boom, there goes your car. You get in a fight, I don't know, Akeem Talib, whoever the cornerback is for
Never heard of
the
him.
Denver Broncos, he's ripped multiple gold chains off of Michael Crabtree during games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On purpose?
Yeah.
That's
the
awesome.
first one was probably by accident, but he did it a second time, which, you know, was just to be a jerk. But it's just like, you know, that's so troped. You just rap about it all the time, the same stuff. Every rapper does the same thing, and it perpetuates itself because of that. These young and up-and-coming rappers hear it in the songs,
And they're like, oh yeah, let me put that out there.
Yeah.
Let me put out my fire song. I hate to say that I do like listening to some of those songs though, because it's some of the wordplay is kind of clever, but every song they're talking about how good they are, so that gets really old really quick. So leaving rap music and getting into pop music.
boom.
Which, you know, both genres we've previously talked about kind of borderline on pop music sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm assuming whenever you think of pop music, you think of Chainsmokers.
Gross, man.
Is that not the epitome of what pop music is?
I think the biggest difference with pop in comparison to the rap and the country trope is like rap I genuinely enjoy. Country I hate, and like that will never change. Pop music I do not necessarily like because of how troped it is, how every song, again, like country is like the same, set to a different beat. But I hate it the most because, like, what was that Chainsmokers song that came out? That
Closer?
Love that song. Like,
I know.
it pisses me off
But
so much.
It is the most derivative, grade school, like cookie cutter song of all time.
Good phrase, cookie cutter.
Like it literally is. Let's pick up the smallest words, put them in a sentence together, and then repeat the chorus as much as we can to buy 3.5 minutes on a song. But you come up with a catchy beat, you got a song.
Boom.
I mean, that's with everything, though. I mean, that's what I would
You just
say.
have
almost
to
every
appeal to
single genre.
millennials, man. That's it.
Well, we don't have much of a
That's
attention span
Yeah,
anyways.
you have to make everything simple for millennials. So, and they outnumber baby boomers now. So you just have to find your cookie cutter song. Like you said, what's it about? Oh, lost love. Okay, cool. Everyone can relate to that. Oh, what's this one? Taylor Swift, looking at you.
Broke up with my boyfriend. He was terrible. That's the old Taylor
For
Swift.
4 albums.
When she was real country sounding. I broke up my boyfriend. He was terrible. And then now it's like, I broke up my boyfriend, and he was so bad.
And I'm amazing.
And I'm the greatest. because everyone buys my albums.
True. She's just, I mean, does she even care at this?
Dude,
I don't think she cares
Speaking
anymore.
of her album this year,
She's just like making money.
last year sucked.
Oh, terrible.
I was so upset.
Terrible. Even
I love
by,
her music.
Even by pop standards.
Yeah, just bad.
Fearless.
I haven't heard it on the radio.
Fearless. What, her second album? First
third.
album. Second or third album.
I think it's the
Anyway, what I'm getting at is that's old school Taylor. That's like as she was transitioning from country into pop, so it's a little mix of both. Love that. I own that CD. As far as like country
album.
Music goes, that
Enchanted?
that is the extent of what I will listen to.
Yep.
And bluegrass, but that's not.
Well, at least bluegrass
terrible.
is. Well, it's not so much of. I don't know what trippy bluegrass music would be.
I don't know.
Riding a train,
Being a hobo.
blow, blowing on like a jug or something. That'd be pretty bluegrassy to me.
Faux show. So pop music.
Pop music.
What's tropey about it, Steve?
It's
Besides the lyrics and the beats, which pretty
well,
much
that's. I
is
mean, that's
all
the
of it.
thing to me is just the lyrics in general is you're coming up with the most basic song. It's almost like someone said, "Hey, listen, I came up with this really good rhythm. I just need you to write lyrics around it."
And in that sense, you brought up earlier for country music, do they have ghostwriters? I mean, they have people that they pay money to
yeah.
write songs. That's all they do is write songs for these artists. So,
And I'm always really curious about when you're an artist and you're making money, or you're trying to make money. Do you come across this crossroads where you say,
sell out.
"Yeah, sell out"? Like no one's asking you, but you're saying, "I can make a really crappy song by my standards
That everyone will love.
Everyone's gonna love it because it's catchy, or I can make the art that I want to make." And a lot of people are just saying, "Well, I need some money." So I mean, look at Train, right? I like to think of Train because I like Train's old music, and then they got really popular on the radio and the Hey Soul Sister, and I mean, it sounds so,
I mean, I respect
vanilla.
I respect the crap out of like indie artists. I mean, you know the types of shows that I go to see. You know, you're paying like $10 for a ticket to sit or stand in a venue with like sticky floors and like the murder rate is 80%. But just to see these bands who have like 1,000 followers on Twitter, you know.
Yeah.
So I respect. They're there for the music.
And you know they're there to work hard too.
Yeah, not for
because they're trying to get exposure. They're trying to prove to everyone that they belong in this.
not for that money. They're not worried about the whole fame thing. So they're not tropey.
Yeah.
Respect.
Well, I think that's most of what we had listed down. Do you have anything else that you wanted to hit on?
No, I got nothing.
No? Well, I think there was one thing we missed off on, which was the poop and fart jokes that we oftentimes see in these movies and TV shows.
Dude, we should have brought that up.
Which gives us a great opportunity to lead into our toilet talk of the week.
There it is.
Doom, doom, doom.
Nice. Well done.
I don't even have to use that animation sound anymore. That was it.
Yeah.
It was
Don't
like
worry
a
about it.
typhoon. Fart jokes. So we talked about Adam Sandler earlier.
Who is a walking fart joke.
He is the embodiment of what you would expect a fart joke with legs to look like.
Spot on.
All his movies, dude. Him. All right, I'm gonna go at you right now. Adam Sandler, Kevin James. Now I'm having a hard time. I had to.
What was that movie? The Grown Ups?
Grown Ups.
Anyone in that movie.
Yeah.
All of the actors in that movie.
Well, you had Chris Rock and you had Steve Buscemi in that movie.
All right. They're at least respectable.
Yeah, but not. Sorry, Adam Sandler. We're giving you a hard time, but damn, dude. You put out some cringe.
Trash.
Taylor Lautner.
He's hot.
He's getting in that poop joke line because he was in that movie Ridiculous 6 too.
Yeah.
But those are just 3 examples. Well, two examples really. I'm sure there's tons of other ones. I mean, you've seen plenty of movies where they do the fart jokes. Oh my God, it smells so bad. Blah blah blah. I mean, Ben Stiller's been in movies like that too. But oh my god,
So what is it then? What do you think it is that makes things? I mean, I realize that you and I both are a little bit immature, I would say, in the sense
Nope.
when it comes to that kind of humor. I mean, we've said it maybe not on the show, but just in everyday, like poop jokes and fart jokes to me will always be funny. Like someone just randomly rips it on the street.
So
like, I'm gonna laugh.
that's the thing, right? So we were talking about pop songs being cookie cutter songs. Fart jokes are the cookie cutter of jokes. I know my dad may or may not be listening, but Dad, you are a perpetrator of this all the time, where it's like, oh man, I ripped, that was so bad, or like, I just shit my pants, and it's like, dude, every time, like, it's once a day, it's funny, like, it still makes me laugh, and it makes a lot of people laugh, because no one, a lot of people don't joke about that stuff, but when you do, it's funny because it's so taboo in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we're talking about poop stuff every episode, I think is good, because like I just said, it's taboo in day-to-day life. No one wants to talk about it. Even if you're listening to it, sorry, we're going to talk about it. We think it's funny, and I'm sure that you get in the bathroom and you fart, you probably laugh at it too.
And I'm sure you're entertained by toilet talk, right?
Yeah.
It's something
you have
comical
to be.
that you can listen to and enjoy.
But I think that's it, though, is that when you make a fart joke, like I can picture that guy farting. Oh, that's really funny. Like if I said like some really hot girl, I can make up a story right now. I'm in an elevator with this tall, beautiful young lady, and then I see her like drop her purse, and she bends down to pick it up, and then she just rips the loudest fart, and it smells up the entire elevator. Dude, don't tell me that if that joke was told at work, you wouldn't like bust out laughing. That would be so funny, because it would be so unexpected, and you don't see, like, there's certain people that you don't see doing those acts, right? Like, you don't see the president of the United States, well, maybe older presidents of the United States, pooping on the toilet, or just any woman in general. I don't think about my mom pooping on the toilet, But I just said it, and you started laughing,
So it's something you don't think about all the time.
And maybe that's what it is.
But, I mean, there are whole jokes crafted around these things. Like, you're in a room, it's just you, your significant other, and the dog. And all of a sudden, something starts to smell, and you're like, dog farted. You just blame the dog. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's your joke. Clearly it was one of you, but, I mean, I know dogs occasionally.
So are you pro or anti fart jokes?
I'm pro. Very, very pro.
Now, how often can it happen in a movie? You get two?
Yeah. I was going to say one or two, because one, it's like, and it depends how it's presented too. It could be totally unexpected,
There's some very...
I was just watching Parks and Rec today, right? Yeah. Rewatching, I should say. And there's an episode where Jerry, who is like the office punching bag, or the department punching bag, he like dropped, they're not allowed to laugh at him at all, because he's having a rough go of things. And so he like drops something on the floor, bends over, his pants split, and he farts. And it's just the combination of everything that's been going on is like perfect.
Because there was a restriction on the fact that they pick on him all the time anyways, and whenever it was such an easy opportunity to give him crap for it,
they weren't allowed
to do it, which made it even funnier. Yeah. So if you present it in a tasteful way, which that's about as tasteful as you can get, I guess. If you present it in the most tasteful or best suited way, I'm fine with it. But when you're doing it, I don't know, 5 or 7 times in a movie or a TV show for that, you need to reevaluate yourself.
You need to get better at comedy.
Yeah, I think so.
Do your job
I'm sure
better.
there's a lot of stand-up comedians that rely on that stuff.
All right, man. So I think we've covered everything.
Woodford Reserve, the Masters Collection. Brandy, Cask, Finish.
The big stuff.
It just has more words on it every time I look at it.
Seriously. It has like a little pamphlet attached to the neck of the bottle.
So tell me if you thought this. Did you taste like a vanilla undertone?
Sure did.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of this.
It's not surprising. The way you rated Deceptivus prior to this in an earlier episode, which I really thoroughly enjoyed Deceptivus, because it is a sweeter bourbon. I told you before the show started that,
yeah, you were right.
you know, you probably weren't going to like this. I, again, enjoy it because it is a little sweeter, but, you know, it doesn't surprise me.
I still thought it hit you whenever you first, you know, taste it. And I haven't had much brandy, so, you know, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it did have that brandy flavor or that effect at the beginning. It was a little bit more, it pinched you, I guess.
A tartness?
I guess so. That's the best way I can really describe it.
Yeah.
It's
You guys will have to go get yourself a bottle, but probably not, because
maybe not this one. This one's expensive.
I got this up in D.C. where the liquor stores are not...
They just give out stuff.
Yeah, they're not state regulated, so, you know, they carry a much wider variety of liquors. So I got this up there because I knew I would like it. Ran me about 120 bones. I know it sounds ridiculous and expensive, but I think it's delicious and kind of a great, you know, expensive bottle of bourbon to share with friends.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, I have not seen it under $160 per bottle. So I'm glad I got it when I did. It is delicious.
Well, according to you.
According to me.
I don't think it's bad.
That's that.
I just don't. I would not put it in my top tier list. Which, speaking of lists, we have a power rankings list now on our website.
Boom. Check it out. It's up there for you. For your
MyShotOfLife.com.
You should go out and try them, see what you think, see if you think our ratings are remotely accurate. I know everybody's is going to vary.
Yeah,
especially like,
tell us what you think about it.
You know, Steven and I with Deceptivus, yeah, I rated it pretty high. He rated it pretty average, and so, you know, it fell on the overall listing because the average score.
Or it was raised.
Yeah, raised by me.
Due to your inflated rating system.
Yeah.
That's it for the show today, guys. I mean, Woodford Reserve, if you
What's your rating? Hurry.
What do I give Deceptivus? 3?
I don't remember.
I would give it right above Deceptivus, maybe a 3.10.
3.10. 3.1.
Yeah. 3.2. Yeah, you know what I mean.
3.1.
Whatever.
Nice. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
4.5? Man, see, guys, this is how the average gets swayed. We need a third
pretty
person.
Consistent.
Come on the website.
4.4.
Send us your ratings.
4.4.
Let's bring that average down.
I've got to double check what I got for Deceptivus. I think this is better than Deceptivus.
I think it is too.
So,
but slightly better.
I think
still not the best.
4.5.
Well, guys, we don't not suggest it. Vic definitely highly suggests it. I say if you can get it, if someone can gift it to you, it's great to have on your whiskey stand, whiskey bench, whiskey cabinet.
Bam. The bottle looks nice too.
It does, and it's really cool.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up here today. We appreciate you guys tuning in, supporting the podcast, and giving us a listen. Remember to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. That way you can stay up to date on all of our content. Additionally, guys, remember the Raleigh Rambler, for those of you who find yourself in the Raleigh area on a consistent basis, or if you're just visiting, you know, subscribe to that podcast on iTunes as well to get your fill every Sunday of all the events going on in and around the Raleigh area that you can get out and participate in. If you feel so inclined, please rate and leave us a review. It really helps to drive our exposure on a national level. Don't forget to check out our website, myshotoflife.com. Give us a follow on all of our social medias. That's at myshotoflife on both Twitter and Instagram. Reminder, in addition to iTunes, please check out our SoundCloud and our Stitcher, where we will post every episode each Wednesday. Make sure to tune in on Wednesdays for each episode of the Shot of Life podcast. Feel free to reach out to us through our various outlets. That's our social media, and also on our website with comments and suggestions on future episode topics, as well as different drinks to try and to rate.
Well, we appreciate you listening and joining us today. We hope that you drink responsibly when listening to this podcast. And always remember, guys, drinks are better with friends.